You have your live rig and you're ready to do shows. Before you do a show, you must rehearse though. So here's some rehearsal tips, things that we do when we rehearse. First of all, rehearse as often as you can. Normally I rehearse 4 to 5 days a week before a show is coming up. So usually a month before the show, I usually rehearse 4 to 5 days a week. Right now our shows are generally one per month. However, I also rehearse 4 to 5 days a week because if another opportunity comes up to do another show much sooner than the show we're meant to play, I want to be ready for that opportunity so I can play out live. Pretty much knowing my songs and knowing the music and just being ready for any opportunity that comes up. So when we're having trouble with songs, we'll go through the entire set list. Even if we fuck up a song, we'll still continue through the set list, and then once we get to the end of the set list, what we do is we go back to the songs we fucked up in and we rehearse those a couple of times each, and we'll do that up until we know the songs and we're not fucking up. If you're having trouble with a particular part of a song, you can always go back to that specific piece. We don't really do this all that much. Usually if we're going back to a certain piece, it's so my guitarist can learn the guitar parts. However, I will suggest this because I think it could be a useful tactic for you in your rehearsing for your industrial show. But if you're having trouble with a specific part, we go back to that specific part and rehearse that specific part. Another tip is, granted this is more of a performing live tip rather than a rehearsal tip, but this does involve rehearsing. I would suggest rehearsing your setup and teardown of your live rig so that you can set up in 10 minutes or less and tear down in 5 minutes, because generally you don't want more than 10-15 minutes between each act. So if you have 3 acts, the first act goes on, they tear down their kit, hopefully it takes 5 to 7 minutes, and then and if you want to be helpful, you ask them to help. If you can help them take their kit off the stage, and then you set up your stuff, and that should only take about 10 minutes, and then you may be able to start setting up your stuff as the other band is tearing down. Just don't be in the way so it takes them longer to take their kit off the stage, but you might be able to do that. You can't do that all the time, but sometimes you're able to do that. For us, we try envisioning when we're rehearsing, we try and envision the stage, whether it's here or here or here or whatever, and we try to practice as if we are on stage. I will move in such a fashion that I'm like on stage. I won't be going full force, but I will be moving and kind of planning out where I want to move and kind of where I want to be on the stage in the different parts of each song. And that's one thing I want to mention is the reason why you want to practice the movements and stuff like that, not that it's scripted, because you don't want to necessarily script things because that can be pretty fucking boring, but you just want a general idea so that you're not wandering around on the stage while you're performing, because that it just looks like you're wandering around, and that's not a good thing. Here's another tip: if you need some time in an actual rehearsal studio, you can rent some time there. And in the past, we used to rent rehearsal time in like a 3-hour stint for final rehearsal before we would do the show, and just so that we could get a live show. But now we don't do that because we found another way of doing it without having to rent a studio. Generally what we do now is we actually rehearse with headphones. I live in an apartment, so obviously there's noise issues. However, I don't go beyond the noise bylaws so that I'm not getting fined or whatever. I'm staying within the noise bylaws within the city, and yeah, that's the only thing you can hear. Really, you can't hear the music because we're using headphones. We're hearing the music here. It's not out in the environment, and the only thing you can really hear is my singing. I mean, that's an option too, is that if you're looking to do things on a budget, you don't necessarily have to rent a rehearsal studio. You can get a device like a headphone amp, plug in your audio there, and then everybody just wears headphones. Without getting too technical, you would actually plug your audio MIDI interface audio out into the mixer. You'd plug your whatever other instruments into the mixer, and then you take the audio out from the mixer into the headphone amp, and then everybody would be wearing headphones and they could adjust the volume on the headphone amp to where they need it. However, we have a device called a Jam Hub. They don't make them anymore. You might be able to find them used on reverb.com or eBay or something like that. The only unfortunate thing about the Jam Hub is that the gear is proprietary, so you're going to need their cables and their adapters and stuff like that, which is a little unfortunate, but I got it in the early days when they just came out, and it's been what we've used since like 2011 or 12 or something, when we started rehearsing in my apartment. The final tip is, when you're rehearsing, you want to keep in mind that you're never actually going to be truly ready for your live show. So you got to get your head wrapped around the ideas that you practice as much as you can, and you have a live show date. You don't wait, you don't push anything off. You set the date and you rehearse as much as you can until that date, and then you do the show. You don't want to be stuck in the idea that you want to be ready, because truthfully you may never be ready and you just need to do it. So that's it for these rehearsal tips. I hope you found this helpful. If you did find this video helpful, please give it a like. If you have any questions or comments regarding other rehearsal tips, I might do more of these rehearsal tips actually. But if you have any questions or comments regarding these tips, or questions or comments about anything else industrial music related or whatever, leave them in the comments section. If you feel this video has value, please share it with your buds. Maybe you're starting a band with your industrial music buds, so share this with them. Maybe you guys will find this helpful. If you feel this channel is helpful, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when the next video comes out. So see you in the next video.